Hey everybody, this is EC Spade. I had a game, blitz game that I thought was really interesting that I wanted to show you, and I think you'll enjoy the ending of this. We'll get right down into it. Okay, we had D4 here, and what I've been doing against D4 is playing C6. I play C6 against E4, obviously, because I'm a Caro-Kann player. Against D4, my trick here is that I want to see the white player decide that they might as well take both center pawns, since I'm not contesting the center, at which point I can get right into a Caro-Kann. What I've succeeded in doing at this point, if I get this line, is to trick a D4 player into playing in an E4 opening, which he's not going to be familiar with. There's no reason for a D4 player to know the Caro-Kann from the white side, since they don't play E4. So that's kind of what I hope to see, and that's why I play C6. Now, if they play C4, then, which is what happened in this game, then I still play D5, and we're in the Slav defense. Now, I got to admit, I haven't studied the Slav, and so from here I just kind of make up moves. And my plan is to start studying the Slav opening and try and develop one here, so that I have good options as black, no matter what my opponent plays. Probably if I see the English opening with C4 or something like that, I'll probably still play C6 and D5 and try and develop that way, because I think that'll be similar to the Slav and Caro-Kanns I'm playing now, although I might be wrong. So here I kind of make up moves. You can see I'm developing the same way I do in the Caro-Kann, but there's no pawn on E4. We both move our A pawns just to avoid the annoying pins and things that happen over here. And then he offers a bishop trade. There's no good reason not to take this trade. There's no good way to decline it besides playing back to D7, but I think that's really passive. So I go ahead and trade and then play E6. My opponent played F4 here, which I don't think is a good move. I think it weakens his king and it weakens his E3 pawn, and there's a lot. I think he had better options, like just playing knight F3, playing in front of the pawn. There's a reason why having 3 pawns in front of your castle king is a good move defensively. And you're going to find out as we watch the rest of this game that opening that diagonal to his king is going to end up to cause problems for him that ultimately lead to his demise. So here we go. I didn't like all the pressure I saw here in the middle, and we both castle here, and then he wedges the knight in there. Probably what I could have done is left his knight right where it is, and if he wanted to trade knights over here, that would have worked out fine. I could have eventually isolated these pawns. If we trade, and I take back here, push my pawn like you see me do in the Caro-Kann videos, and try and trade pawns on D4, and then swing my queen around and maybe try and get some attacks on that pawn. I should have done that. Instead, I kind of panic when I see all this pressure and a really well-placed knight, and a lot of times I react poorly by capturing it. I'm going to remember not to do that anymore. So here I end up losing a pawn, and I saw it, but I didn't know what else to do, and I wasn't thinking. I wasn't looking for a great move. I was just looking for a way out of all the pressure. And I give a pawn to relieve that pressure, which wasn't a good decision. It's bad chess, and I admit I was playing bad chess. Here we go. He's got a trap here. There's a mate in 1 if I don't watch for it. He can just bring his queen down and take the pawn here. You can imagine. Let's say I just develop a rook, then checkmate in 1. That's not any good. I have to make good choices. H6 is the best way to block that. The reason I played H6 and not G6, you can see this would have worked too, is that this opens up a dark square weakness in front of my king, and he's got a dark squared bishop. I didn't want a dark squared bishop or a dark squared weakness when he had a dark squared bishop on the board. He doesn't have a light squared bishop and doesn't have any knights, which means that if I play H6, that this square is safe. The only piece that can hit it is his queen, and he can't support it. So he can't mate me with this kind of weakness. And so that's why I chose H6 instead of G6. All right, so he develops his bishop, and I take the open file with my rook. And now he's got another trap. He's going to play rook takes pawn on H6, and this pawn is pinned to my king. You can see if I pull it away, this queen would gobble up my king, and that's not any good. So I have to respond to this threat now. 2 ways to do it. One is to play queen to G5, which allows a queen trade when I'm down a pawn, which isn't good for me. The other way to do it is just play king over to H7, and that kind of breaks that pin. This pawn's now pinned, but it's not defending anything, so that doesn't hurt me. This is a bad move for him, and I didn't see the tactic immediately, but I saw it after I moved my knight away. There's other tactics that I can play that win the game for me with that pawn move. I don't have time to get into them because I only get 10 minutes on YouTube. So here we go. He puts pressure on my king side, but this loses the game for him. His weakness on d4 is huge, and now that this diagonal is opened up because he played f4 earlier, I can check and fork his king and his rook here. So you'll notice that if I don't do something drastic now, I'm going to lose here. He's got so much pressure on my pawn here. He's going to take with the bishop. I take back with the pawn, and I'm done for. I'm checkmated in 2. So I've got to put the pressure on this guy hard. So here we go. Fork the queen and rook, or king and rook. I'm sorry. And I got to keep the checks rolling. So no reason not to get another piece into the checking web. Check. Got to keep checking. Got to keep checking. Now here, I found a really interesting option here. Later on, I played rook takes g2 check, and I realized I should have done that now. So I wanted to analyze that. And when I got here, I realized that after this series of checks, he can't block with his rook this time because queen takes his mate. He's got to run to f4. And watch what I could have done here. This is really, really cool. Knight check. He's got to get rid of that knight. His best option is queen takes. At which point f takes queen is a discovered checkmate. And that's just really cool to play a discovered checkmate. And especially I think it was cool to see. I check him. He checks me, and I check him, like all in a row for checkmate. I thought that was fun. Anyways, let's get back to their main line. I didn't play rook takes g2 here. I played queen to e2 check. And I kind of repeated the position a little bit to see what he would do, and he blocked with the rook. So now I've got to keep the checks rolling. That knight check is still an option, but what I chose to work just as well is g5 check. One option obviously is just take with his queen, something like this, and I think this would have worked, I'm sure. I don't know. There's lots of options here, but he's down so much material. You can see his attack's stalled out, and I've got all kinds of pressure on him. This would be great for black too. Where are we at? Okay. After g5, he played king to g4. And now I play rook takes g2. He moves. And I need a discover check here with my queen. So discover check. He plays a g3, and this opens up mate in 1, queen to g2. Better here for him. He could have played king to g4. At which point, queen to g1 check. Let's see. Rook blocks here. Queen to d1 check. And that works just as well. But I said he plays the g3, and I have a check on or mate in 1. So I thought that was a really, really impressive mate. It was a lot of fun, and I really like that discovered option I could have had earlier. And I wish I'd seen it. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the game. I'm going to go study on the Slav now, and I encourage you to subscribe to my videos and keep checking back. I'll keep putting them up, and let me know if you guys have anything you want to see. I'm not going to pick up some weird opening or anything, but if you guys have questions or you want to see maybe a more detailed analysis of my Card-Con game, I could probably make a video just showing all of my options and the tree of choices I have there for that. So let me know what you guys want to see, and I'd be glad to post it. Enjoy.